Welcome back, students. We will just continue with the phylum Annelida. In this video lecture, we will be discussing about the class 5 of phylum Annelida. That is, the name of the class is Hirudinea, and it is derived from a Latin word. Hirudo means a leech. It is an ectoparasite, that is a parasite which is seen outside the body of a host, and the blood-sucking or the carnivorous forms. There are the few marine and freshwater and the terrestrial forms are also present. The body is elongated and usually the flattened with the dorso ventrally or cylindrical, and the body consists of the fixed number of segments. Almost 33 segments are present, and the breaks up into 2 to 4 rings or the annulae. Each segments are divided into 2 to 4 rings or annulae, and the segmentation is external without the internal septa. So only these external sections that we can see. Then parapody and the setae are absent. You can't see any parapody and setae, and both the anterior and the posterior ends of the body with ventrally situated suckers. So on the ventral side you can see one sucker at the bottom end and another sucker on the anterior end. The mouth opens on the ventral surface of the anterior suckers, and while the anus on the dorsal of the posterior suckers, and the coelom much reduced due to the filling by the botryoidal tissue and forms a hemocoelic sinus. And they are the hermaphrodite with one male and the one female gonopore. The fertilization is internal, the asexual reproduction is not known, and the eggs are always laid in cocoons. And as we can say that the development is indirect without a free swimming larval stage. So that's a speciality of this class, and the examples of this class includes a Hirudo, that is a medicinal leech, then Hirudinaria, that is a turtle leech, and the Hemopus, that's another annelid worm. And when we say discuss about the general characteristics of the Hirudinaria granulosa, they are commonly called as a Indian cattle leech. The body is soft, vermiform, elongated, dorsoventrally flattened, and measuring about the 30 to 35 centimeters in length, and the skin is kept moist and slimy due to the abundant mucosa secretion. And the anterior and the posterior suckers are the well developed, and the dorsal surface is the olive green ventral surface, then the gray, yellow, or the red. Both the references have the black stripes. Both the surface have the black stripes, and the body is divided into the cephalic region, the pre-clitella region, that is the above the clitellum. Then there is the clitella middle, then there is a caudal and the posterior sucker regions with 33 segments, and each segment is superficially divided into the 5 annulae, as we have said in the previous slides. Then the anterior sucker is oval and contains a ventral triradiate mouth, and it is formed by the fusion of the prostromium and the few anterior segments. And the posterior sucker is highly muscular and adhesive organs, and the eyes are about the 5 pairs dorsally, and segmental receptor organs are the 4 pairs and the 3 pairs, and the anus is on the 26th segments, and the nephridipores are present in the 6 to the 22 segments ventrally, and the male genital pores on the mid-ventral intersegmental groove of second and the third annulae of the 10th segment, and the female genital pore is on the 11th segment. Then they are the hermaphroditic. The general organs are like herido, and the reproduction is sexual, and the development takes place on the cocoons. Then about the leeches, the live in the freshwater bodies. These are the leeches, and some live in the moist vegetation. These suckers found on the both sides. Unlike these annelids, its segments are not separated internally. And these leeches lack the setae and parapodia. And most of the predators and the scavengers are the very few are parasite, and they secrete the anticoagulant called as a hirudin. This hirudin, it is an anticoagulant which is secreted by this annelid worm, and which keeps the blood from clotting, and the anesthetic which prevents the host from feeling their presence. Then the last example of these are the Ozobrancas. They are the species of leech in the family Ozobranchidae, and it is found in the Atlantic Ocean, and it is a permanent parasite on the sea turtles. This leech is somewhat dorsoventrally flattened like this, and is about 13 millimeter in length. The anterior head, it is a narrow. This anterior head, it is narrow, which is loaded with the leech holes into the turtle host, and the end also bears a smooth on the upper side near the sucker, and a pair of the eyes on the fifth annulation. The trunk is much bordered than the head, and the bears 7 pairs of digitate cells. It reminds such a sucker, and the diameter of which is as broad as the maximum width of the body. And this leech is of creamy white in appearance. This is the life cycle of Ozobrancas. The cocoons highly hatching the adult leeches. The leeches are live on the turtle, any hatched down, and the adult reproduced, leading the cocoons onto the turtle and the hatched on. So these Ozobrancas are the marine leeches, and it is a parasite on the fresh water of the tortoise and the marine turtles. And the posterior region bears 11 pairs of lateral gills. A pair of eyes are present. The eggs are cemented to the body of the host, and that is a plastron of the turtle will be these cemented materials can be seen. Then the body of the Ozobrancas is divisible into the trachylosome and urosome, the two gonads which occur on the 12th segment at the base of the trachylostome within a single genital aperture. And the first of the 5 gills occur on the segment 1, and the first gill pair is smaller, and the first gill pair, you can see here, the first gill pair is smaller than and more complexly subdivided than the second, and posteriorly the gill pairs become sequentially small and less complex. And these leeches are the well known for the blood sucking habits and the head to tail looping mode of locomotion. So that's all in this video lecture, and once again we will just go back to the slides, and we will see which are the different annelids. The first, it is class 1, that is a archaeannelid. Example, it is a polygordius. Then the class 2, it is a polychaeta. Example, Chaetopterus, and the class 3 is Oligochaeta, example Megascolex, and the class 4 it is a Hirudinea, example the Ozobrancas. So that's all in this video lecture. Thank you.